Take 3.
Yo.
Episode 16.
Heckin Cool Dads Podcast, episode 16.
Hey, you guys got a better name for us yet?
I know that I don't. Hey, I did think of one. Remind me to tell you that after we get off this podcast, so I don't say it here.
Okay.
But I thought of one that I actually kind of liked. So we're going to get right into it today. Collin.
Drinking seltzer tonight.
Yeah. It's been a long weekend of drinking.
Also, was this you said this is your first time you've ever had a seltzer?
Well, when you said seltzer, I thought you meant
like a hard seltzer?
Yeah. I thought, because everybody's drinking White Claw right now. Like literally.
I don't I was talking about this last night. I don't understand when and why it became a meme. Like Sierra's been drinking White Claw for like 2-3 years now.
Dang, I see. That shows I had no idea it was even out 3 years.
Yeah.
No fucking idea.
And there's a lot of different brands. It seems.
What's the one that you said was like drinking suntan lotion? Was that a White Claw or was that Corona?
That was the Corona Refresca thing. Okay. And oh my God, that thing was terrible. It was terrible.
Yeah. When we started talking about it, I was like, well, shit, maybe you were already telling me about
No,
White
Claw. I hear that. See, I'm not a big fan of them. I feel like, for one, it's way too easy to get hammered because it's like drinking seltzer water. Like you
taste nothing?
You suck it. You're just tasting good flavor.
You said you suck it.
You suck it down.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah, you do.
So I'm not a huge fan. I hear that there's a brand called Press, and it's more expensive.
It means it's more good.
And there's like fancier flavors like blueberry hibiscus or whatever the fuck.
Avocado toast.
So I hear that brand's good, but I always just get White Claw when I'm at the store for Sierra.
Yeah, Travis Kimpton is a big. That's our new vocalist in Pushhead. He's a big White Claw fan.
He's a big White Claw meme guy on Twitter.
Does he post
a lot of White Claw memes?
Does he?
Yeah.
See that? I am so out of tune with Twitter. I don't know shit about it. Maybe we should just get Travis to run the Twitter if you're not going to do it. Hey, Travis, run our Twitter. Thanks.
Be our social media manager.
Yeah, there you go. We'll give you a title. Fuck. No, so I was thinking about this today. Like, if I did come here and drink today, this would have been 3 days in a row. And I haven't drank 3 days in a row in like fucking, 4 years probably.
Crazy.
Yeah. So I'm glad that we're not drinking. 2 is manageable.
Yeah. This weekend has been excessive.
Why is that, Collin? Tell us why.
Yeah. I mean, Friday night was, Thursday was my birthday.
Woo!
And I'm now on the dark side of the 30s, on the way down towards 40, 36.
I call it, but okay, 36. I think I've told you this before. That's one of my favorite little 2 Chainz songs called 36. Did I ever tell you this?
Mm-mm.
All right, I got a good story about it, but I won't go into it. It's your birthday.
Yeah, so Thursday birthdays are lame because I still had to work on Friday. So we went out on Friday night and we went and saw Baroness and Torch, which could there be more perfectly curated show for my birthday?
Yep.
I mean, it was so good. Torch with that type of sound system was among the heaviest things I've ever seen in my life. It was amazing. And then had a handful of tall boys, like the 24-ounce ones, like the big ass ones.
Yeah.
And then afterwards decided to go to Lido's and do karaoke, which was when you showed up.
That's right. I do know that.
And proceeded to get wasted.
Yeah, you were. I literally wrote that down as a podcast topic today because you were fucking wrecked. REWREKT. Wrecked.
Yeah, I was. I mean, Sierra left earlier than I did because she was wrecked too. We had an overnight sitter, and I was like, I'm not going home yet. And I was like, I put 2 songs in. I haven't got to sing yet.
Yeah.
And finally got to do "Fight for Your Right," which I always do because if somebody on a college campus doesn't know every word of that song, they're lying to you because it's just everybody knows every word and it's just so fun. And I had the whole bar screaming.
It was actually it's crazy. All those kids were super young. Yeah. I mean, they were all like early 20s, and all the songs they were singing were songs that they probably shouldn't know the lyrics to, but they knew all of them.
But then I had a cookout yesterday, and you were there as well. And I just remember we were talking quite a few times where you were like, "Yeah, we talked about it last night," and there's big chunks of time missing from my Friday night.
I think the one that sticks out to me is you said on the podcast, like maybe 2 times ago, that you broke your strap during your show. And so when we left that, when we left that podcast, I said, here, take this strap. I really like this strap. I think it's awesome. You'll like it. And you took it. And apparently you did, because you told me several times at Lito's that you loved that strap. And I was like, you know what, Collin? I have 2. It's yours for your birthday. And then you, right before I left yesterday from the cookout, you came out and was like, dude, I just got to tell you, I love that strap. And I was like, yep.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. If I didn't get it the first 2 times, trust me, this third one's really driving it home. And it's still yours for free. You can still have it. And then I sent you the screenshot today in case you wanted to buy more of them.
Yeah.
Because that's how I roll.
It just made me think of, and it's funny because we were watching Wayne's World yesterday at my house, which did not disappoint. I told you it's on a lot at my house. Yeah. You show up at my house and it's fucking on.
It was.
And
it was also, you had it on like a letterboard right next to it related to your Wi-Fi.
Oh yeah, it's our Wi-Fi password.
Yeah, I was like, well, shit, I'm watching it, and then to the left of it, like Wi-Fi password.
But there's the whole scene, the Bohemian Rhapsody scene when Phil's partied out and they take him to the concert, and the next day at the auto mechanic shop, he's like, dude, saw this band last night? He's like, yeah, we were there. And he goes, yeah, the singer was such a babe. And he goes, yeah, we were there.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen for like a week with your stories.
Oh man, the funny part is like, I already do that. Like even when I'm not hammered, I already tell stories over and over. And I just can't imagine what I'm going to be like in 20 years.
I agree with that. And I feel the same way because I do that. My coworker calls me out every time. Like she'll let me get like halfway into the story, and then she's like, oh yeah, and did this happen? I'm like, fuck, I told this one. She's like, yeah, you did. Okay, cool. So fun fact, my I think Alzheimer's and dementia and shit like that runs in my family. I don't know the logistics of if it skips generations or what happens, but I'll probably end up with something. Shit's already started. So my Thursday, your birthday, I went to Cedar Point.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome because my kid is old enough, or he's tall enough rather, to ride all the rides. We used to, every year for Father's Day, and I'm doing air quotes, he would get me a Father's Day gift of double tickets. Like one of them's for Kings Island, one of them's for Cedar Point. He'd get me, my wife, those, and then we'd always buy an additional ticket for Kings Island, and we would take him to Kings Island because it's a lot more kid-friendly.
Yeah, we were actually talking about going this summer.
Yeah, well, I suggest Cedar Point. I think both of your kids are probably Hayden's height, right?
Yeah. Beatrice wouldn't.
Oh, yeah.
Wouldn't be. And I can tell you right now that Miles is the only one who would even think about going on a roller coaster. Well, I think.
We did Kings Island multiple years in a row, and he basically can ride everything there. He could ride everything there except for the Diamondback, and I think they have one new one. And so we skipped a year. Now he's tall enough, but then I gave him the option, like, well, you're also tall enough for everything at Cedar Point. You want to just do that? He's like, yes. So we get there, and for some reason, every time I've been to Cedar Point in my adult life, we've hit it where there's never like any lines. So we walk in.
A weekday Cedar Point visit that's key right there.
Oh yeah, but I didn't know if it'd be the same because it was not. We used to always do it during school. Mm-hmm. You know, like he would go to school and stuff like that, and we would like go, and so that was different. But this time we get there, we check Raptor because it's like the fucking first ride.
Yeah,
and it's a classic ride. I wanted him to ride like something that's been there for 20 years or something. It's got a 60-minute wait, and I was like, oh shit. Go over to Gatekeeper, one of their newer rides, and 20-minute wait. Nice. Cool. It wasn't even 20. I think it was a 10-minute wait. And so, because they have 3 cars running, the cars are bigger, so they carry more people. We get up there, we're 2 rides away. It breaks down for 20 minutes. So we waited it out. So that was the first one he got to ride, and he was fucking terrified, which was great, but he loved it. And then I actually did the smart thing, which was get the Cedar Point app, and it tells you what rides have what times.
What?
Oh, yeah. Kings Island has it too.
Dude.
But like I forgot about it before I got there. So I'm like, all right, let's pull this shit up, see what's going on. So then we hit all the ones that had 10-minute, whatever. Just booked around to all those ones. He even did the fucking dragster.
The Top Thrill dragster?
Yeah.
Dude, that still scares me.
Well, I've only done it once.
That shit.
I've only done it once.
That's it. That's the real deal, man.
Yeah. I've only done it once, and it was just to say like, okay, I did it. That one's the type that's like, it's over so quick, you don't really have the time to be. You psych yourself up, and you're more scared before it happens. Because while it's happening, you don't fucking have time to even be scared.
No.
It's just over.
The biggest scare on that whole thing is that first launch. You know it's coming. You hear the
Yeah.
You know, like it's got that huge bass drop thing, and
Yeah, I don't mind that. The scary thing for me is when you start to crest over the top.
Yeah.
Then I was like, oh God, because I actually watched multiple people
there's
get
that
to the
whole
top,
thing, and it does. Sometimes it doesn't always make it.
Yeah. And also, I mean,
then you got to do it again.
Exactly. And also, I think it's been broke down. It's broke down every time you're there. Like, it doesn't matter. It's broke down. I think it overheats or something. Like the brakes overheat.
It has to do something with the pneumatics and stuff.
Yeah. So that shit happens. So it opens back up, and it was like less than a 10-minute wait.
Nice.
So I let Amy and Hayden go, and then I sat back and actually took a video. I was right up on the fence where he was at, like 4 feet from him. Got a video of him and then taking off and the whole thing. So I thought that was better than me just, fucking anticipating the jump off.
My favorite thing to do at Cedar Point though is like if you're at like the end of the night, you can ride the Magnum and like get off and get right back on. You just like half hour before close, you can just ride the Magnum like 10 times.
Yeah, there were I think 4 coasters he didn't ride, and that's because all of them for the whole time we were there had like an hour, 120-minute wait, and I'm just like, fuck that. So Steel Vengeance was one. I think that's their newer one. Maverick.
That ride is sick.
Maverick.
This is the one that goes.
No, that's Valraven.
No,
Maverick stops halfway through and launches you again.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the Maverick was the first one they did that had the more than 90 degree drop. But that new one is bigger.
Oh,
it's a bigger version.
I didn't realize that Maverick had one of those.
It's just the first hill goes rip like that.
Okay, got it. Yeah, so we didn't ride Valraven either. There was that, and then there was Magnum, Valraven, Maverick, and Steel Vengeance. Those are the ones we didn't ride. But we rode everything else.
He rode Millennium Force.
Ah, shit, we had 5. Yeah. So what we did was it was hot as
I rode that shit in the
balls.
Rain once.
Really? They let that happen?
Like it started to rain as we were coming up to the top, going 95 miles per hour down that 200-foot hill. It was like I was getting shot with thumbtacks.
Yeah, that sucks. It started raining right when we left. So we only had a sitter for a certain amount of time, and it's about a 2-hour drive. So we said, look, it's hot as fucking donkey piss out here. Like, it was so goddamn hot. We left like, I don't know, 4, I guess. So we had a pretty fucking full day of just coasters and heat. We got the drink pass, so we were drinking, lemonade and soda and shit. Got home, and I told him, like, you know what I'll do? And this was kind of like, I knew as a kid he wasn't going to want to leave. So I was like, hey, look, it's hot. We're all sweating. Let's go ahead and get out of here, and I will take you out of school one of these fall days.
Hell yeah.
And we'll fucking go up there and tear the rest of them up.
Hell yeah.
So you should participate in that.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, shit, you pretty much recapped my weekend for me. I went to your show, or not show. I met you at Lito's, and then I came to the cookout. And today we got our dog back. So our dog, we had her boarded from the same lady who trained her. So it's like she does like a refresher, like let me unfuck the things you fucked up since you took your dog home. Because like honestly, we did a 60-minute handover where she showed us all the commands and like what to work on daily, and we didn't do any of that.
Bummer.
I know. It was like we just spent all this money and then like we're not taking your advice. So let's go put her back in there. She can fucking refresh you on your commands. And the lady she was fine. Like she remembered everything. She did everything just like that. And we also learned that she's a big time swimmer now. She likes to swim.
Oh, that's awesome.
Our dog is like the hella good swimmer.
I took one dog through training once, my old dog Lemmy. And I feel like I learned a lot of good stuff, so I've never felt again like I needed to pay for it.
Yeah. Oh, were you there during the whole training?
Yeah, it was like a training, a twice a week training class.
This was, you see, mine was different.
Yours was like a
drop the dog off, board and train, which was clutch into us even keeping our dog, so it was needed. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think, like, I feel like there was so much shit that happened since the last. Oh, somebody sent my kid a preserved alligator head.
What?
Yeah, right? We don't know who it was yet. Like, we have no idea. It was shipped from some place in Florida, which, I do have family in Florida, but it was shipped from the place that sells the alligator heads. And there's nothing that says who fucking bought this thing.
But it was addressed to him?
It was addressed to Hayden, right? Yeah, exactly. Fucking came right to the house. My wife opens it, comes upstairs and goes, I'm kind of yucked out. I was like, why? She said, there is a preserved alligator head downstairs. I was like, wait, what? Because I'm going to fucking play with it. Like, where is it? And yeah, sure shit. Like, I go downstairs, I open this box, and it's like, it's a normal box, and inside's just some bubble wrap, and inside that is a fucking alligator head, teeth and all.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So please, somebody tell me who the fuck sent this alligator head. I haven't actually reached out to anybody, so.
It's weird, man. I woke up this morning with a severed horse head in my bed with me.
In your bed. Right. Some new school mob shit.
No, dude, I actually woke up in the worst way possible that a parent can wake up.
Kids jumping on you?
Nope. Is 2 kids running, trying to beat each other to the room, screaming your name, hitting each other, trying to be the first one to tell on the other one. Like a knockdown, drag them out fight I was woken up to. And for some reason, we've set a precedent in my house since we had our first kid. And that for some reason I am the one who gets woke up when issues arise when we're both still asleep. They never bug Sierra. Never. It's always daddy. It's always daddy. Rowan hit me. Or
you're the authoritative figure, right?
Yes.
That's why. Because they want to make sure they tell the right person to get the other one in trouble. They don't want mom.
Yeah, you're right.
They don't want mom coddling, right? That's what moms do.
You're right.
They jump in and save the day.
But yeah, that shit sucked.
Do you guys, do you go back and forth like good cop, bad cop? Like one time you're like the pushover and sometimes she is?
No.
Okay. Fuck, man. We do that.
No.
Sometimes I'm like, you are overreacting. Stop that. And then I'm like the good cop. And other times it could be the dumbest thing. I'm like, put down your goddamn video game.
I'm always the bad cop.
Are you?
For the most part.
Was your
I have a really, really short fuse.
For in general in life? Or just kid shit?
Just kid shit. Well, yeah, mostly just kid shit.
Yeah.
They
Do you get real close to their face and go, fight me?
Yeah. You don't meet me in the DMs.
They're not far off from having social media. It's just crazy.
Oh, don't say that.
Are you going to let your kids follow you once they get it? Like, let's say, okay, first of all, let's start with what's the age that they can, that he can have an Instagram?
I don't know. A lot of my friends like let their kids have let their kids have Instagram since they were like 10. And I think that's crazy.
I think that's a super common age.
My guess is it will be sooner than I hope, but I would probably say 13 or 14.
Okay. So at 13 or 14, is your kid going to be able to follow you?
I don't see why not.
Are you thinking of anything that you have to scrub?
No, I don't need to scrub anything because there is a semblance of, I keep most of my stuff private, except for my Twitter's public. But I think Twitter is where I'm the most unfiltered, but still, it's nothing I regret or anything I regret, I delete. But I also have to keep some semblance of professionalism because I have a higher visibility job than other people in, my circle of friends. So I don't think so, but I don't know. It's like, I don't even want to think about it. It's like,
I know.
Like,
because I've been thinking about it lately.
Because it's like, I'm already worried because he's starting junior high. And I'm already worried about how much of a culture shock that's going to be.
Do you feel like you sheltered him? Or do you think that you're doing it right and there's a bunch of super unsheltered, exposed kids that are going to...
I'm mostly thinking like this is the age when kids start getting mean.
Yeah.
And like seriously mean. And so like I'm already worried about that. I'm already worried about like shit, my boy's starting junior high and now I got to deal with like actual hurtful things that people are saying. And then you just think, and then he gets on social media and that's just like the bottom of the barrel as far as treating people like shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because there's no fucking... Man, I saw a picture once and it says some of y'all never been like hit in the face after some of the shit you said and it shows. And like that's the truth because so many people are growing up nowadays just talking all the bullshit and trolling and shit like that. And they've just never been in a fight to get punched after they said some shit that was gnarly. Like that's just not the day and age we live in anymore. Mm-hmm. Like punches happen so fucking few and far between that they've probably seen way more punches looking at like World Star videos, than fights in school.
And the thing is that, people talk a big game online and it doesn't matter that they wouldn't follow through in real life.
Right.
Half these people who are just these cowards behind their keyboards saying the most awful shit, they're still deeply affecting people's psyches by saying these awful things. But if you see them in real life, they're fucking quiet nerds most of the time.
Neckbeards.
A bunch of fucking cowards.
Goddamn neckbeards. So we had talked not too long ago about trying to bring more segments in.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the ones that we do from time to time that I think is a good one for today would just be top 3. And the reason I think this is because one of the things I had written down for top 3 for topics would be top 3 karaoke songs. So before we discuss, let's talk about the rules. Are these the top 3? We got to figure out what they are. Top 3, either fun, that you're best at, or that like the crowd, the top 3 crowd pleasers. Like, what do we want to do?
See, I think for me, it's often like a crowd pleaser thing.
That's exactly.
But for
what
other people, like to get up and do karaoke because they want to sing and it's their time they can sing.
Yeah,
and that's not who I am.
That's not me.
And so let's do songs that you would love to do because of their crowd pleasing nature.
Why don't we just go ahead and put the elephant on the table? Fight for Your Right.
Fight for Your Right to
is
Party.
Absolutely on my top 3.
It's the perfect. It's easy.
It doesn't take any actual vocal talent.
It doesn't take
other
any,
than timing,
and it doesn't take any actual like rapping talent because they're just straightforward lines. And I've tried to do the Humpty dance like 3 times now.
Yeah,
and every time I regret because I get lost and I fail miserably. And I'm like, well, the one's got busy in a burger,
Yeah,
and you just like come in with
the big punchline.
And I've always gotten really lost in that song. I know another good one that I've done that is a crowd pleaser is Warren G. Regulate. It works really well.
I've done that.
When you have 2 people, one person who is dedicated, Nate Dogg, and my brother and I did it once. And my brother, we were trading off or whatever, and got to the end, and the song started fading out before the actual tail end of the song. So my brother's like, chords, strings, we brings melody. Like my brother like did all that.
G-funk.
Where rhythm is life and life is rhythm.
Whoa, shit. That's funny. There must be like the unofficial guide to white guy karaoke because we're saying all the same songs. So Regulators is always a fun one. And I was Warren G and Kyle was Nate Dogg. Kyle is the worst Nate Dogg. I'm only telling you this right now because he did tell you at the bar. There's no way you remember.
I do not.
Exactly.
Remember that.
I knew it. I knew you wouldn't.
Holy crap.
But I even told you at the bar, I said, we're going to have to do the top 3 for karaoke songs.
Dope.
Yeah.
Nope.
No, so Kyle was my Nate Dogg. And for a musician that's as good as Kyle, and he is the fucking rhythm section, like he is on bass. For somebody that plays bass and is a musician, it's crazy to me the lack of rhythm when it comes to vocal things. So Kyle gets the title for fucking worst Nate Dogg ever.
So funny, man.
So my third is actually something that they did, and this has always been a crowd pleaser, I think. Sugar We're Going Down, Fall Out Boy.
There you go.
Because we even did that in Push Ahead. We covered that as a band.
I mean, and
it fucking slays.
That is a chorus of
that
suburban
chorus.
white people.
That's what I'm saying.
Sound.
So
there's one more. I had another one I did. Limp Bizkit Break Stuff.
We did that together. Remember?
We did.
Yeah, at Mickey's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when Mickey's was around.
Yeah, that's a good one.
But I wonder how far that one reaches, like the demographic, because at Mickey's. It killed
more than you think.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I did that at one time. It was my birthday, I think, or Sierra's, and we went to that Momo place. It's like by my house. It's where like Big Lots was. You know what I mean? And it was like a Japanese style karaoke and arcade and stuff like that. And so it's like you got a TV in like a little room, and with like a bench. And I will never forget the look on my friend's face. She's like a really good, quiet Christian, just kind of person that like you feel is like completely uncorrupted.
Yeah.
And I'm like, just one of those days feeling like a freight train. And I mean, it was just, she was just like,
well, if there's one thing
horrified.
I've learned from, I've only seen you at karaoke twice now. If there's one thing I've learned, it's that you really do give yourself to the art.
It's just too fun, man.
When you get up there, you fucking transform and you become Fred Durst, or you fucking become, it's crazy.
I got a runner up here. Another one I've done, because I do become this one as well, is The Beautiful People by Marilyn Manson.
Shut the fuck
up. Like full on, like doing all that shit.
Yeah.
I've done that. That shit's hilarious.
I love to do rap songs. I like to do songs that everybody knows, but I know damn well not everybody can do the lyrics because of either breathy or timing challenges. So like I try to pick wordplay like what's a Jay-Z song? The New York song with Alicia Keys. If I can get a girl to come up with me and do that part, that's my like duet song. But the fucking place I would do that one, they leave all the words in. And like you have to mentally like get to certain words and just censor yourself. And it's I do that one early in the night is what I'm saying. Like before I've had like 7 drinks.
My brother, I think one reason why I have like I do take performing karaoke seriously, that it needs to be fun and crowd pleasing, is watching my brother do it. He kind of like, I've watched my brother do karaoke, and it just kind of like, I was like, well, that's it. I gotta just go for it. Because my brother is also a musician. He's a really good singer. And he, for a long time, one of his jobs was he was a karaoke DJ. And part of being a karaoke DJ is if nobody's singing, you have to sing. Like that's the deal. It's like you can't have dead air. And so my brother got really good at a lot of songs. And at Mickey's one night, watched my brother do The Darkness, I Believe in a Thing Called Love. And I mean, he's like, I mean, just like screaming, and it would just nailed it. And he's like doing air guitar solos, and he's just walking back and forth, and people were just fucking eating it up. And I was like, this is it. This is how you do karaoke. So I've always just kind of done that now.
So, my old drummer, James.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He is fucking amazing at that song at Guitar Hero. Like he can play it on expert and shit. And which is crazy to me because it's always a non-guitarist that can do that shit. I would watch him play that shit on expert and it would be blowing my fucking mind. And then I would try it on like easy or medium and could not even get it. It's because like I have some kind of actual, relationship with where notes are. Right. And I'm just like, oh shit, that's not the button that was right next to the other button. Like I can't follow that shit on screen.
Because there are so many of them. It's like, the song, even if you've never played on a guitar before, the song well enough, and generally what you would do on a like where you would go.
Yep.
But you have to stay right here.
Exactly.
One time though, we were actually going to Cedar Point. This was like, this like 12 years ago maybe. And we were going up to Cedar Point, and our friend had a cookout. He lived in Vermilion, right there by Sandusky. Mm-hmm. And we had a cookout, and he had Guitar Hero going on in the house, and Sierra is like surprisingly amazing at that game.
Like Guitar Hero?
Yeah, and she's really good at the guitar, which is really funny.
Yeah.
But they were playing Metallica's One on expert, and she
the same band that was playing it here last week.
She nailed it. I mean, like nailed it. Mm-hmm. And she's just doing it and she's just like, and everybody's just like looking at her, and then she puts it down. She's like, "Who's next?" And like nobody played anymore.
No, why would you?
She just like she totally.
It's the Grandma's Boy like Dance Revolution. Did I break it?
High score? Is that a good thing?
Man, there's been a lot of things to talk about. Let me see. What are we at? We're only at 28 minutes, but there's some more shit that's happened this week, and I'm gonna bring this one up because. You were not the first person that I saw do the old face app thing. You're not the first. But once you did it, it was like my threshold. I had seen enough people. I was like, that's it. I got to go find this fucking app. I got to figure out what it is. Because it seems like most of the people I saw do it were taking a screen cap and like cutting out the face app logo. Like most people were doing that. So I didn't know what fucking app this was. Yeah. Have you read any news stories or picked up anything since then?
Yeah, I've been following it, and first things first, let me just say this. I did 3 of myself in different lighting, different postures, and all three of mine look like the same old guy. Like some people's like one angle looks like this guy, one angle looks like this. Mine all just look like my grandpa, and it's super weird, like scary. But yeah, there was that news article came out that said that it's actually owned by Russian oligarchs, and they're using it to collect, data. And I don't doubt that part of it. I think that a lot of I've followed it enough, and it turns out the servers are hosted in America on Amazon Web Servers Amazon and stuff Cloud. Like that. So, but the terms and conditions are very open. Like you can use stuff on my phone. Yeah. And the bigger than that to me is obviously, from the last time I used FaceApp a long time ago when people were doing it a couple of years ago to do something else with it. I can't remember what they were doing. I don't remember either, but I did too. It's amazing in just a year or two how much the artificial intelligence has grown. The fact that it can that quickly put together an image that looks that realistic. And it's crazy because it's sending the image to their servers, doing it, and then sending it back that quickly. Yeah. And so and the thing that I'm the most worried about with that whole thing is not necessarily what people are going to do with my data or something like that, but we as a culture this week, as a meme culture, just did so much good training for that AI this week. Yeah. That AI is so much smarter today than it was a week ago before this meme hit, because it's just looking at everybody's different faces and they're pumping it all through their algorithms. Everybody wants to give it a good, straight on, perfect fucking image. That machine learning is the machines learned a lot about facial recognition this week. Yeah, it was fucking crazy. They basically said that the learning part of it? Just the fact that we just, like I said, spent a whole week letting the computers learn so much more about how to read our faces faster. That's true. Whew. I don't know. I think that shit was going to happen regardless. There's always something they're doing, but the thing that I read said that most images aren't even stored past 48 hours. That what it is, it's to people want to upload it and do one, and then like they keep it there so that the next time you want to upload the same photo, like I guess people were doing that. They were uploading the same photo over and over and over to put different effects on it. Mm-hmm. So they keep it there almost like in a cache to make it go faster. And then they're deleted after 48 hours. But they did say most are deleted after 48 hours. I was like, what the fuck? What are you holding on to? Like, celebrities or something? Again, it's because we are all, as a culture, we just want give me my old face. Oh, accept. I don't give a shit. Terms and conditions. But I selected all the things with traffic lights in them. Which is also, that's machine learning. Yeah. Yeah. That's one of the older ones that I can think of is like select everything that's got a fucking stop sign. Anything that has a sign and you're selecting it and you miss that little corner of one in the bottom left. Those things. It's like, oh, you're a robot. Yeah. Fuck them. Did you catch anything else in the news? Anything else newsworthy? I got another one. Go. Fucking, how about, are we gonna do this? Are we gonna storm Area 51? Oh my God. Okay. Area 51 memes were funny for a day and a half, and then it just got way too old real fast. But I love that the military responded and said, hey guys, this is what awaits you if you do this. Right. It's like one of the most highly guarded military bases in the country. And it's like, no, you idiots. There will be lots of bodies if you actually try to do this, and they will be yours. Yeah. Hilarious. It was a 20-year-old kid that made that. Hilarious. Made that page. And I watched a news interview with him, and he had like a fucking, I don't even know what it was. He had some weird headband on, and it had like a big metal emblem right here. And he was like, I just did it because I thought it'd be funny. People started taking it serious. He added that they'll never be able to stop us if you Naruto run or whatever. It's where you it's an anime type thing. He's like, they'll never be able to stop us. And then it showed him giving the news an example of what that is. And he's like, he even gave us an example. And he takes off fucking running. He takes off running, and you can see he almost trips and veers right and crashes into a bush or something. That's fucking, I don't know. That shit's crazy. What do you think about aliens? Do they have aliens there? I don't know. What do you think about aliens in general? Do you believe in them? It's a weird thing for me because, growing up in the church, we are the We are the creation. We are the top dogs. Everything has led up to this moment with us. And I think that is inherently narcissistic to think that this universe that has been around for 14 billion years and is expanding at an infinite rate. It's absurd to think that this is the only life.
Yeah, we're the only rock doing that shit.
Yeah, I think that, but there's a lot of really good science behind like why we haven't heard from alien races if they exist, and there's certain things like one, like if they don't have technology that can get the signal to us fast enough, if we hear a signal, it might have been from like 10 billion years ago and they're dead by now as a civilization or whatever, things like that.
Yeah.
So I am unconvinced of intelligent life, but I'm also really I'm very unconvinced that we're alone. That came out very wrong.
Yeah, that was like there's a
like,
very yes, but no.
There's
but
a
yes.
very slim chance that we are alone in the universe. I think there has to be other life, but is that life intelligent, or is it amoebas that are frozen in the middle of Neptune or something? You know what I mean? Who knows? And
frozen in the middle of Uranus. What would I be if I didn't make one Uranus joke while we're like talking about space?
Funny thing was last night or this morning, she asked what all the planets were, and Sierra was like, let's see, and Rowan just immediately jumped in. So he's just like, Mercury, Venus, but then like when he got to Uranus, he like said it quieter and quicker. He's like, Uranus, Neptune, like he didn't even want to say it.
That's funny.
So funny.
So is he your one you don't think you're gonna have to worry about cussing?
I definitely think I'm gonna have to worry about all of them cussing.
Yeah,
but because I'm not an idiot. I know how I talked when I was his age.
Damn, that makes me scared because I told you several times on here that Hayden doesn't do it. So I was like, I'm not going to have to worry about that for a while. Maybe he's just fucking playing me.
Did I tell you yesterday about how like my kids were yelling at everybody?
No.
Like people just started showing up and McFly showed up and he says fuck sometimes 3 times in one sentence. and then my other friends, Rachel and Aaron, were there and they cuss a lot too. And we were just hanging out and like every time someone would say fuck, one of the kids would be like, stop cussing. And I finally just walked in. I was like, guys, this is my birthday party. It's going to be a lot of our adult friends who cuss a lot. You're going to hear it. Please don't make a big deal out of it every time. Because like I hit that early on before people like really started showing up because it would have been too much.
Do they scold you guys just at home on a daily?
Oh, for sure. But, you know, I will say we cuss a lot less freely in front of our kids than other friends. You guys cuss very freely in front of your children.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
And
I know I'm gonna have to chill soon, but go on.
I do, but I get scolded by my kids and my wife because she tries really hard not to cuss in front of them, and we've always kind of tried hard, but I stopped trying hard a while ago.
Sweaty try hard.
Jesus. One of my kids called another one that today. I don't remember. I just remember hearing it.
Yeah, and you know what it is because learning shit on the podcast. We're pretty free with it because he's old enough to know like this shit happens. Those are adult words. But Eloise is getting to the point where she's about to start,
mimicking,
parroting that shit. So we're gonna have to reel it in quite a bit. Right now, it's funny. Like she mimics us. Like when we'll scold the dog, we'll be like, no. And she walks around going, no. And like taking her finger, she does it with her finger up and very like, and then she'll do it and look at me. I'm like, you did great. Good job. But anytime the dog like steals, it's not even steals. Anytime the dog plays with the dog toy, but Eloise wanted to play with the dog toy, she'll like yank it back from him and go, no. And I'm like, that one's weird because it's kind of theirs. Like, I don't know how to tell you this. You don't own that weird thing that looks like a dildo, but it's really just a chew toy.
Did you have a third karaoke song?
I had several. Which ones did I do? Fight for Your Right, Beastie Boys, did Sugar We're Going Down.
Oh, yeah.
And then I did Regulators was also another. And then I also did the bonus one, which was the Jay-Z song.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, fuck, man. And forgot about Dre. That's another good one to do with the second part. So you can get a Dre in there. That's fucking dope.
Yeah, but whoever does Eminem's got to be like on it.
That's me.
Yeah, I'm sure you are.
Yeah. Do you practice karaoke songs?
No.
What?
No.
Why would you not? Okay, so
because to me, part of the fun of karaoke is like I showed up at a karaoke bar and I just put some songs in and we'll see if they pick. You know, and that I will say this.
That's the illusion you want to give.
I put in that part, the Schoolboy Q song. Remember? Because I just kept saying, and Kyle especially was like, I got to see him do this, and I am really glad that I didn't because I was drunk enough, and that song has a lot of words I can't say.
Yeah.
And I definitely would have accidentally said some stupid shit.
Told you
Probably
that's
got my ass kicked.
That's why I'm worried about the. That's why I'm worried about several of the rap songs I want to do. I try to not do those ones. Oh, I have another question for you, Collin. Because first of all, how many times have I texted you since the last episode when I told you I've just been going to Kroger and getting that coffee and it's still not in their system, so they ring it up.
At least 3 times.
Yeah, I've done it even more than that. I'm starting to spread that. Like I told my coworkers about it too, and I got a text today that basically said they were at Kroger and they were thinking about it. They were thinking about doing it, and then didn't because they're like the checkout lady was super cranky. So I was just afraid to even do it. I'm like, you can't be afraid. Like, what's the worst that can happen? You pay full price.
Yeah.
You know, and I was wrong.
And what's it like $3?
I said $3.39 on the podcast, but since then I've gone back and it's $3.59. So I'm just fucking racking up the thing. I've gotten several more at 99 cents, and I got the most expensive one on the way home from that podcast. I think it's the first time I text you, $1.99. So even then, like, I need to sit down and like legitimately factor out like how much free money I've gotten from Kroger.
Speaking of coffee, my coffee situation was awesome this morning.
Oh, because you got the
I got all the new.
Yeah, you got the new gadgets.
Yeah, I got that Chemex for Father's Day, and I've been just kind of making do with what I have. But then my best friend got me a Bonavita gooseneck electric kettle and it heats up in about 2.5 minutes to 200 degrees.
Wow,
it's awesome. And then a friend Tish got me some really good coffee, and it was tasty.
All you need now is an Ember mug.
No, but I did also get that mug, the Sleepiest Dad mug. My friend.
Oh, I saw that.
My friend got me a mug that has just a bunch of pictures of me sleeping on it.
I love that.
So funny.
I showed that to Amy today when I was like just hanging out on the couch. I was chilling. I was like, holy shit, look at this. And she hasn't felt well all day. So like she was less than enthusiastic about any of it. But I was like,
she hungover?
No, she's not hungover. She just hasn't been feeling well.
Oh.
Just a little under the weather.
I was like, I didn't think that you guys were like hammered.
No. What's the picture on your lock screen? I'm just taking a poll, and the poll's only you.
Oh, it's just black.
Okay. How do you feel about people who put themselves?
Lame.
Yeah. I've seen that a lot recently.
It's just black. Yeah. Just black.
Very nice.
And the same with my background. I just like it.
Just like it murdered out?
Just like it murdered out. To me, I found such a pure interface, and I would rather just let the icons sing and stuff. It sounds so weird.
Yeah, man. You're really I should have cut you off.
That's how I talk. That's like how I talk as a designer. And creative director. Be like, oh, I changed that color to that because we really want to let this part sing. You know, but talking about it in this context sounds super lame.
Yeah, it's not a good look. No, I can't even remember what the fuck mine is. I feel like mine's just some like weird spacey shit. Does your wife have like your family?
Sometimes I think right now, a lot of times she likes to find like cute illustration patterns, like laser unicorns or cute kitten illustrations or something.
Cats riding a rainbow,
little bats,
skateboard shitting out a unicorn or something.
Yeah. Like it's funny because like looking at my kids' iPads, like Rowan's is it's like a screenshot from Geometry Dash or Minecraft or Roblox or something that he's playing. And then Miles is like a picture of him and his best friend from down the street. Mm-hmm. And then Beatrice's is always like literally the cutest animal she can find, like a cute little bunny or like a newborn kitten. It's just really funny.
Yeah,
like,
the dynamic.
The personalities.
No, like I've noticed like when I'll just catch a glimpse of people's lock screens, it's alarming how many people have themselves
so weird.
As a fucking lock screen. Like I don't get that. And my wife like always has either kids or family or us. Like that's like I feel like that's a pretty typical wife thing to do. They always get that. I don't know what the fuck. I always pick some like weird space or shapes or geometry or brightness or fucking some shit like that.
I used to, back when I had more time and just was a lot more, this makes me sound really dispassionate, but when I was a lot more passionate about just doing design all the time, like just creating and I still am like that, but in different ways. I used to like design myself a wallpaper for my phone and for my laptop that would match each other.
Oh, I didn't do that.
Like I would design them, or like I would do some like cool typographic thing or some photographic thing, but I would always make it basically extend from my computer to my iPhone, and like that was a thing I always loved to do, but
that's kind of cool.
I just don't do it anymore.
Why don't you do it? Why don't you do a really cool one and we can release it for Heckin Cool Dads? It'd be like this cool little thing you can download all the different sizes and yada yada.
I guess part of it was I just get a lot of times, like especially with my work now, I'm designing like really complex shit. So like my work computer is just black too. Like I just like it's just clearing out the noise so I can just focus on the stuff.
There's something to that. I know. Do you keep a lot of icons on your desktop?
I'm like pretty meticulous about cleaning my desktop like once a week.
Yeah, I'm like once a month, but I got to do the same thing. Like I want as little. If it's on there, it better have some fucking like significance, and it's coming up soon that I'm gonna need it.
The newest version of Mac OS though automatically buckets things for you on your if you turn it on. Okay. So it'll automatically, they're called stacks. They're not folders. They're just things stacked on each other. And so it'll make like one that's like screenshots, one that's images, movies, you know, so it's like it automatically is trying to help you declutter.
Yeah.
But I do have, you know, a lot of times I'll be, if I'm like deep in a project and there's just assets and all this stuff, like my desktop becomes like crazy.
Yeah.
And in a lot of my backup folders, I have a folder called Sort Me. That's like I was getting ready for a presentation or something like that and just threw all that shit in one folder and just put it away.
I have one called
Never sort that shit.
I have one called Desktop Dump.
There it is.
And so what I did is I copied all the shit I knew I needed to sort that didn't belong on the desktop, and I put it in one desktop dump folder. And that fucking thing has grown to like 2 terabytes. I gotta
never clean it up.
No, man, I really gotta go in there and do that shit.
Yeah. I'm also. Are you the kind of person? This is. We may have reached rock bottom of boring conversation, but are you the kind of person who like empties your trash can?
Fuck yeah.
Like immediately?
Yep.
When you trash stuff?
Fuck yeah, I do.
I'll tell you, I empty mine maybe once every month and a half. And oftentimes it's like, oh, I just gained 20 gigabytes.
Well, when I do these podcasts, so I have a lot of files that generate other files that are huge. And so usually, like just when I go home tonight and I throw the files in there and I start the editing process, the things I throw in the trash tonight will be like 3 gigs. So like I'm like right away, like give me my fucking gigs back.
The funny thing is when you, in Logic, when you do a take, like if I'm plugged right into my MIDI interface, so I'm not using a mic or anything like that. When you delete a take, it throws that AIF file in the trash can. It doesn't just delete it. So it's a lot of times if I go through my trash can, there'll be like all of these takes of like one riff I was trying to record, and obviously there's the deleted takes that are bad. And they're also just the raw guitar signal. So it's like,
oh, yeah.
It is literally, if I ever want to feel bad about myself, all I have to do is go listen to these bad takes of the raw guitar signal. And dude, it makes me want to quit.
Did you ever watch those videos on YouTube called like insert a band name, like Corn Shreds?
Yeah.
Dude, that's what it reminds me of. Yeah. Every time because when I record a track of raw guitar so that I can reamp it later if I want or put something on it. And then I record one with the VST, like whatever plugin I'm using. So I have one to like go off of. But yeah, I listen to that fucking raw one and it's just like, and I'm like, what the fuck? How does that even come out sounding good? That does not sound good like that. How does that come out sounding good with distortion? Makes me want to tighten up my playing quite a bit. Did you see, I know that something we talked about last time was the whole ASAP Rocky in jail. You see Trump, Old Trumpy trying to get him out, pulling some strings.
You know, it's what a weird timeline we live on. When the president of the United States, who was fairly universally reviled, all of a sudden says, "Oh, thanks to Kim Kardashian West, I've been made aware of the fact that A$AP Rocky."
This one I think was Kanye.
And
yeah.
And you know,
but regardless, same point.
My whole thing with it is okay, that's cool, but it feels like tokenism. It feels like, oh shit, I've had a really bad week of people accusing me of being racist, and there's a black American locked up across the pond. So let me make a big deal out of this. And I don't want to insinuate that, but it's just the way it looks. But it's good. I mean, doing good is doing good, and if he gets him out, that's sweet. But it's also like, hey, I saw Freddie Gibbs retweeted the president's tweet about it, and he says, "Fuck that shit, man. Let these kids out at the border." You know, like it's the bigger picture here. Is like, okay, like it makes it look like this celebrity gets preferential treatment.
Yeah. So that's the weird part to me.
Yeah.
That's the whole weird thing to me. Is it's like he has a chance to do this good thing. And he could just do it, and it'd be like, cool. That'd be like a notch on your belt, like a good thing that you did. Because it's not like there's nothing he's done that's good. I could probably list 100 things good, but there's probably 1,000 things bad. That's the problem. But anyway, he had a chance to just do something good. But what's he do? He jumps on Twitter and starts like flexing names.
Hey, look what I do.
Yeah, look, man, Kanye just called me. Like, cool, okay. And I'm going to call up this guy that I know who's a fucking Prime Minister of Sweden or whatever, and he's a good guy, and I'm gonna flex even harder. Like, I don't know, it's really weird. It's a weird thing. I'm glad that it's happening, and he still hasn't. I mean, obviously got him out. They're supposed to. I think they just had a talk, and they're supposed to like retalk in 48 hours after that or something. But it's just weird that that's what he decided to do. He's like, oh, I'm gonna jump on Twitter and flex for a second.
Yeah, you know, and it's. I will say this: the Kim Kardashian's whole. That legislation that she helped push through, the First Step Act. Like, I want to read more about it, but I just saw a headline that like it was decided just at the end of the week that like some 3,100 criminal guys who are locked up on small marijuana offenses, stuff like that, are being like their sentences are being expunged. Yeah, and that is like really good. And I gotta hand it to you. It sucks that it took a stupid celebrity to make that shit happen, but it is, you know, I like that it's called the First Step Act because it's a step in the right direction. But it's just like so many of Trump's supporters go, why don't you guys focus on the good things? And it's like, and that's a really good thing, but it's going to get buried under him bitching about whatever he's watching on Fox News that morning. You know, he's his own worst fucking enemy.
It won't be Fox.
You know what I mean? But
it'll be CNN News.
Yeah, sure. I'm saying he's watching Fox and Friends, hearing them talk shit and going, oh,
I see what
you know what I mean? But like, it's like, I have very little tolerance for this idea of, well, you're just focusing on all the negative, because it's like, no, the dude literally writes the negative news stories every single morning and throws it out there like red fucking meat. You know what I mean? And so get the fuck out of here with this. I'm being so persecuted bullshit. If you're going to be a good person, be a good person. So, that's enough.
Yeah. We only get like just a little tiny bit of political here and there.
Hang on a minute. I'm getting a what's for dinner text message. I should probably answer this one.
I got to do the same thing when I leave here. I got to do the same thing. I got to figure out what's for dinner and bring it home. So why don't you tell me, Collin?
I don't know.
What's for? Oh, you're cooking though, aren't you?
I don't know.
What?
I thought about it, but it's 6:30 already. Hang on.
Yeah.
This is weird and awkward.
What? The fact that you're just on your phone?
The fact that I'm like, hang on a second.
Hang on
Tippity,
a second.
tap, 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 tap.
No, it's fine. Let's just take a quick break, Collin. No big deal. What's your shirt? What is that? Bell Witch?
Yeah. It's a Bell Witch is a 2-person funeral doom band.
See, what the fuck is funeral doom?
I'll explain it.
No, honestly, not only do I want an explanation, I need to know how that it's different than regular doom.
Sure. I'm happy to talk about doom metal all day.
Let's do it.
So you got doom, kind of starts with your kind of classic traditional. You hear people say traditional doom, stuff like that. That's your Black Sabbath. That's your Saint Vitus, your pentagrams, the Candlemass, like the stuff from the 70s and the 80s that's got the more kind of classic traditional metal sound, but still darker Sabbathy and stuff like that. And then, in the 90s is where you saw a lot of these different, there's death doom where it's like death metal, but slower, stuff like that. And blackened doom, that's like satanic and evil.
Is it speaking more to the lyrical content?
Lyrical but I mean, like blackened doom would be doom metal with like black metal chords and stuff like that. So there's sonic stuff too. Funeral doom is it kind of started in the early to mid 90s, and it is one of the least accessible forms of heavy music. It's really, really hard for a lot of people to get into. I happen to really like it, but it is really, really, really slow. I mean, like you're talking like.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, like really slow.
That sounds like when I'm trying to find a beat to play and I just hit a couple. That's what it sounds like.
It's really slow, and it is meant to sound like funeral dirge music. So
Wow.
a lot of it has like organs and like really layered guitar harmonies, like 3-4 part harmonies. So it's supposed to have this kind of like kind of medieval church kind of feel to it. There's a lot of like classic kind of religious melodies and stuff that they use, and a lot of times it's like a funeral doom record will be like 4 songs, and each song will be like 18 to 25 minutes long. And Bell Witch, it's 2 guys. It's a bass player and a drummer, and a lot of times it's death metal vocals. Like the biggest doom or funeral doom band, they're called Mournful Congregation. It's all really sad shit too. Like it's all really, really sad. It's supposed to sound super sad. And Mournful Congregation, his vocals are like death metal vocals, low guttural. But then you have some where it's like layered singing. Bell Witch is one where it's singing. But the interesting thing is he plays a 6-string bass, and he does like lead stuff while he's doing low. Like I was watching him, and it's like this. Just he's like constantly tapping and holding things and
singing
and it's crazy. And they put out a new their latest record. It's called Mirror Reaper, and it's 1 song, and it's 77 minutes long or something like that, or 83 minutes or something. And it's just one. It's a hard journey to listen to. I mean, you have to be in it, and you got to be ready to go on the journey. But this shit is.
That's fucking
it's
crazy.
Not accessible music.
So what you just described, like the music and the content and everything you described, that is exactly how I expected Ghost to sound. I'm serious.
But instead, they're a blitz rock band.
Yeah, it's the weirdest fucking thing. Like everyone was so hype on that
Don't
band.
get me wrong, I like Ghost a lot.
I do not, which doesn't surprise you, I'm sure. But that was the most unexpected band when everybody was like, and it was the type of people that were telling me I was going to love this, or I need to check this out, or they were fucking fantastic. When I had this expectation when I went there, and then when it came on, I was like, what the fuck did I just listen to? Now, purely visual, that band fucking rules for visual stuff. I just, like always, don't like the fucking
I kid you not, man.
vocals.
I saw them at Sonic Temple, and we had they were on like the main stage, and we were like, I could barely see a sliver of the stage because we were so close. But he had a fucking it was like a big church. It was like looked like a cathedral with like stained glass, and there was like this huge staircase that came down that he kept walking up and down. He was wearing looked like a tap dancer tuxedo kind of thing, but evil. And
some Jack Skeleton shit.
They had a fucking dude come out and do a sax solo. He was dressed like the Pope or something like that, and he came out and just fucking ripped it up. A sax solo.
There's something that you'll never catch me looking up on YouTube.
They've had like a rotating member, like it's just the one guy,
right?
And he has all those people in masks.
What's his name?
His name is Tobias Forge. but he goes by Papa Emeritus.
There you go. That's what I thought.
Yeah. And they, I've heard at one point Dave Grohl was playing drums.
Really?
Like that's the thing. They've like snuck people in and stuff like that. Like I've heard that Dave Grohl, that there's been a lot of like popular European metal musicians stuff who have been in and out of that band, as far as I know. So yeah, I get why people hate that band. I really get it. I just think they write really good songs.
I think a lot of people also hate them because of their image, though.
Yeah, and I love the guitar solo. I love their guitar solos.
One thing I fucking like love about that band is the image, which is crazy because in '99, like that's when I first started listening to Slipknot, and I fucking loved it, right? And just recently, they had I think I started to talk about this on the last one. They had people that like are feuding with the band. That guy Chris, he was one of the percussionists, and now they got a new guy in place of him, and it was something I never really considered until they first did it. I think Joey, the drummer, was like one of the first ones, right? Well, no. Did Joey quit before the bass player died? Paul?
I think so.
Well, anyway, that's the kind of cool thing about it is like they change masks all the time and things like that. It's like they could just go through a mask change. Everybody could have it. And they got a different guy under that keeps the band going on. That band could theoretically live for 100 years.
Yeah.
Which is fucking crazy. I've never even considered that. You
know who their drummer is currently?
No.
He's he played in Madball, and he is, what's his fucking name? Max, the drummer from Conan O'Brien or whatever. He's the band leader who was the drummer.
Yeah,
it's his son.
Are you fucking kidding me?
So his dad's in the E Street Band.
Wow.
The drummer of Slipknot's dad is Bruce Springsteen's drummer.
I remember when they were looking for a new drummer, they were having people submit videos. And I only know this because I was at James' house. I was at his house and I heard his brother, who's like big death metal drummer and grind drummer, been in several like bands even from other countries and shit. Like when they'd come over here, he'd be there like,
Jay Weinberg. His dad's Max Weinberg.
Oh.
Anyway.
I heard him playing a Slipknot song, and that's not really him. Like he can obviously play it, but that's not his musical, preference. He was always like, the super death metal shit. I heard him playing and I was like, what the fuck is he doing? Is he playing a Slipknot song? He was rehearsing it and recording to send in his submission to that'd have been fucking tight if he'd have got it.
Yeah.
Especially just somebody that just didn't even really care, that was like just 100% down to sell out. They're like, look, I'm fully in on this sellout thing. Like I can do all of these things.
Hey, did you see, I'm switching gears here real quick. Did you see that fucking Cats trailer?
I did not watch it.
Oh my God.
You told me about it.
Oh my God.
And I actually saw like a shit ton of memes that come out of it. Like I saw one that had like Nicolas Cage's like face on a cat and shit.
I saw one with Nick Offerman.
Yeah.
Dude, you got to watch it and then you got to read like all the comments on YouTube and you got to just like surf Twitter and read people's jokes because people are fucking dragging that in the funniest ways. Like somebody was like, the director said, hey, make it look like the hell you go to if you deliberately drown a cat. Stuff like that. But 25 fucking A-listers faces superimposed on weird humanoid CGI cat bodies. It's just fucked up, man. It's fucked up.
There was something else that was, what else would something else that was dragged was, and I made you watch this just to get a reaction from you. The Tom MacDonald video.
Oh, yeah.
So Tom MacDonald is a self-proclaimed like socially conscious rapper. He's a white dude. He's got braids, face tattoos. I think his girl or his wife or whomever he's in a relationship with, I think has something to do with like shooting his videos, but he's primarily an independent artist. He's got some distribution. And he was telling a story about how on Tuesday or Wednesday, his distribution company basically called and said, like, look, your new song, like, we are not releasing this. Like, we have problems with it. Went through a whole list of things. Oh, what's the problem? It's the artwork. He said, okay, I'll change it. They said, no, you won't change it. It's not actually that. It's that, we have a problem with some of the content. He said, it's coming out in 2 days. It's mixed and mastered. Can't change that. And they said, oh, well, it's also iTunes has a problem with certain content. We don't want to get fined. And he's like, what the fuck? Show me their regulations and guidelines. I have not seen these yet. And finally they were like, actually, it's the message. We have people in the office that are offended by the message. and wasn't sure it was going to come out. So then I don't know if that was a big publicity stunt or what, but it definitely like made me anticipate it. I was kind of like, okay, I'm fucking ready to see what this is all about. He put out a song called, I think it's called If I Were Black. And so I sent that to you, and just initial reaction, thoughts on it.
Initial reaction is I could understand why people would be angry about it. Because, from a white guy standpoint, it's like, the song is all him basically saying, if I were black, it would really suck because I would get treated very poorly in this country. Yeah. And I feel like his heart is definitely in the right place. He's trying to say something in defense of his friends.
Yeah.
But I could see how it could come across as like the white savior complex, like, well, no one's listening to blacks, so I'm gonna do it. So I could see how that could offend from a people of color standpoint, and I also could see how it could offend from like, well, you don't speak for this white guy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that his heart's in the right place, and I think that it's more or less kind of just stirring things up and seeing how people talk about it.
I'm gonna tie two things together. So we talked earlier about it taking, Kim Kardashian or Kanye West or something to do something, right? And you said it shouldn't take these celebrities doing these things. But I kind of feel like that is a celebrity's job. Like, they do have the platform.
I can get down with that.
And they do need to do that. Now, he's not nearly as big of a celebrity as what we were talking about. But this is not the first song he's made like this. Like, he had a song a long time ago called White Boy, which I think it may have been speaking for the like good old boys that are not racist. I think it was like towards that. And he got fucking like dragged for that too. And then fired back with like a really dope song that was a response to the haters in the comments. So I'm scrolling through, like, obviously I'm looking for this song to come out. It comes out immediately. I'm like, all right, so what's everyone saying about this? Let me go to the comments. Looking at the comments, most of them, they're like, I don't understand what you're even trying to say here. And shit like that. It's a whole bunch of white people that's like, oh, I really liked you, but you missed the mark with this one. And I'm like, what am I missing? Because when I listen to it, like content wise and lyrically, he's saying the things that like I feel like are very politically correct, and like they're exactly what needs to be said, right? And maybe it is weird that it's coming from a white guy, and it's not the first time that he's been called, a culture vulture and things like that. But fuck, man, like sometimes it takes people outside of the norm that should be doing these things for us. Sometimes it takes these celebrities or something like that to like get these conversations started. And if that's what it takes is another one of these, or you remember when the Joyner Lucas track dropped, there
was like a back and forth between him and a MAGA dude.
Yeah, he does all the dual perspective stuff. I'm not racist. That's what the song is called. It takes songs like that to get conversations started, but it's funny that sometimes it pisses people off. I do like, there's a line in that Tom MacDonald song where he says like, racism made me racist. And I get that. Like, I get that because like the whole thing is like, you come across all these white people that are always like, black people are so racist. And I'm like, well, not really. It's just that people were so racist towards them that it's making them have a complex. It's like,
also listen to the sentence you just said.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think, this will get me in trouble with my liberal friends, but I do think that we are in a place right now where we are throwing words around that have a lot of weight. Racist, Nazi, concentration camps.
Oh,
We're throwing words around that really mean something.
Yeah.
So you better mean it. And I don't doubt that, honestly, the resurgence of white nationalism and neo-Nazism in this country right now is alarming.
Yeah.
But it is really unfair, I think, to call a lot of people racist who don't know better, because it's their upbringing.
Right.
I could tell you so many of my family members would say I'm not a racist, and it's like I literally sat around and just listened to you talk, and you're pretty fucking racist.
Yeah.
They don't know, and that's sad and weird. But it's just weird that it's so deeply ingrained in our culture.
You can always spot people who are racist that think they aren't, because they start a lot of sentences with "I'm not racist," but
if somebody says "I'm not racist," but that means the next thing that they're going to say is like very racist.
Yeah, it's like the most racist shit you've ever heard.
No, it's it just.
I think you started to touch on it. The resurgence is due to, like, I'm going to relate it to some hood shit. So you like, yeah, when like you want to fight this dude, but you haven't fought him yet, right? And now you're out with your boys and you see this dude. So you got your chest puffed up. You're like, I'm about to fuck this dude up, because you got 15 dudes behind you that are not going to let you get your ass whooped. That's exactly what's happening with white nationalists and Donald Trump. You got Trump and everyone in between there. You got the idiots down here that are like, the good old country folk that are not afraid to fucking put their rebel flags on their truck and like do whatever. Then you got all the people in between it that may actually have some brains. They got the groups that are feeling supported and they're being more outspoken. It's just it's a trickle down effect all the way from up here and, down to the good old boys.
I've had this argument a couple times this week, because obviously obviously the president said some racially insensitive things. No, he said some fucking racist shit on Twitter this week, and and I didn't really want to get into the whole thing this week, but I feel like I still had a couple conversations about it, and it's like, well, he was saying it to blah 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 to it's his whole thing of trolling to really try to change the narrative and all this stuff, and it's like you can say it means whatever you think it means, that he's got some big plan and it was strategic and political and all this stuff, and maybe it was, but at the same time, it's called a dog whistle for a reason. The people who need to hear the racist part, hear the racist part. Yeah. And it's like, you can go on and on and on about how un-American you think that Representative Omar is, but the fact of the matter is, in April, a Trump guy got arrested for plotting to assassinate her because he said that she was a terrorist. So it's like, Donald Trump may not believe that. He may be pulling his election strategy, which is get his base fired up with race baiting, because that's what he's doing. Yeah. But the people who want to hear it are hearing it, and they're acting on it. And that's where it gets fucking scary. No. A lot of people say, like, Trump, if you're a Trump supporter, you're a racist, and I get that sentiment, but I say that no, not all Trump supporters are racists, but all racists are Trump supporters, white nationalists. Yeah. No, not all Trump supporters are racist.
Yeah, we'll say majority of them, just to make sure that it's like, a condom is 99.9% preventative.
You're trying to save me from meeting somebody in the DMs.
No, so speaking of voting, like, how do you vote? Do you vote for the actual candidate you think is best, or do you just vote against one of the two big ones you don't want to win?
I think the reason we're here, where we're at now, is because people tend to vote that way, is fuck the other guy. And I think that now we're at the point where everybody has to vote that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the fucked up thing. I don't want to feel like I'm throwing my vote away, but I also sometimes can't get behind either one. But it's my fucking civic duty to vote. So I gotta pick one. Sometimes I vote for the third.
Come down to it this time around, is get this fucker out of the office.
I agree.
And I'll vote for whatever garbage piece of shit candidate the Democrats run. And because I've not officially changed my political affiliation, but like the last couple of years have driven me out of the Democratic Party. Yeah. Because I hate this whole like circular firing squad of outwoking each other. And it's just, come on, guys.
I agree. I'm totally guilty of it. I voted lib last time. And it kind of got me, like, if all the people, maybe not in Ohio, but if all the people that voted one of the third parties last time would have just voted Democrat, we might be in a better spot than we are now. But
I don't know. The Democrats right now are doing a really good job of making sure that he gets reelected. So,
motherfuckers.
Blows.
So let's play a quick game of Ohio or Florida.
Do it.
You ready for this shit? I got a couple of them. Let's see. What's a good one here? Police in an unnamed city said Jefferson, age 50, allegedly stabbed her boyfriend in the groin with a pin after he ate all the salsa in the house.
Florida. What?
That's fucking Ohio.
Oh, man, that sounds like a meth-fueled or bath salts-fueled nightmare.
Oh, it's funny you should say meth. A man who crashed head-on with a trooper tested positive for meth.
Ohio.
It was definitely Ohio. I got a few more of these, but let me just look for another good one.
Child gets preserved alligator head sent in the mail. Ohio or Florida?
Ohio from Florida. Ain't that some shit? Here we go. I love this one, so I'm going to do this one. Man accused of strangling girlfriend's pug named Nala, which was left lethargic with a bloodied rectum.
Florida.
Fuck yeah, it was Florida. Oof. You know what? Fuck it. Let's do one more. Man tied up wife's lover, cut off genitals with scissors. Deputies say the victim told authorities he then took the severed penis and fled across the street to his own house.
Florida.
Fuck yeah, that was Florida. Dude, I love that Ohio and Florida just out-fuck each other.
Dude.
Like, we have the craziest shit going on. There's never a shortage of the stories. Like, I'm actually to the point now where I'm not just taking every fucking crazy story, because I would have 100 stories in here. I have to scale it down and figure out which ones I'm actually going to take. But God, those motherfuckers are so good. Let me see, where are we at? 116. I feel like if we keep it down to just a couple more segments, a couple more things, like we could end here at one of our earlier ones and not be fucking 2 hours long.
Have you seen, I know I'm on the trailer thing. Have you seen the Cats trailer? No, I'm just kidding. Have you seen, did you see the Top Gun trailer?
No.
Dude.
No. Okay, so I actually follow a trailer YouTube. And so the moment trailers hit, like this trailer YouTube gets them all. And they're there. I see them. They're queuing up. But I told you on like Saturday and Sunday, what I do is I come down and I immediately watch the Joe Budden podcast. That's what I do. Because my wife or my kid, depending on which weekend day we're talking about, is getting up early, I don't subject them to the shit that I want to watch. So like I've been turning it off. So I haven't really got through that shit to start looking at my other YouTube stuff. And so like I just have this whole list of fucking trailers to watch. I'm going to watch them all tonight.
No, that Top Gun Maverick trailer, who knew? I didn't think I would get so stoked about a Top Gun reboot / sequel 30 years later. But 34 years later, something like that.
That's fucking crazy.
But for one, Tom Cruise is 57 years old, and he looks
phenomenal.
Not a whole lot older
Science.
than me. It's like my friend Chris was like, it's putting those like baby stem cells on your face and stuff like that. Anyway,
it's cum, but
no, dude, that movie looks sick. And I did a bunch of reading about it this week, and I guess most of the jet porn is all practical effects, not CGI. Like they put all of the actors and actresses through flight training to make sure they could withstand the G-forces and stuff. So like the shots in the cockpit, like they're actually feeling it.
Oh, shit.
Stuff like that. And then the crazy thing is Tom Cruise said that he would only do it. He's a pilot in real life. He said he would only do it if he could fly the F-14 in the F-14 scenes. So
and
he's actually flying the F-14.
No shit.
Like that's crazy. And but another interesting trivia, speaking of being politically correct and weird, is the cover of the movie or the cover of the poster, the poster for the movie. And there's a shot in the trailer. He's like throws on his old bomber jacket, and there's like a patch that's got 4 flags. And in the original, one of the flags was the Japanese flag, and one of the flags was the Taiwanese flag, and those are different now. And I read that Hollywood relies a lot on Chinese cinema as well. And in order for it to be approved by the People's Republic of China, they had to take the Japanese and Taiwanese flags off the back of his jacket. So that's Hollywood bowing to the whims of a hostile foreign power.
That is fucking crazy.
Yeah. Fucking pussies.
So while we're on the subject of movies,
anyway, watch the trailer. It looks fucking
I'm gonna watch them.
sick.
I'm gonna watch them all tonight, and I'll hit you back.
Sick.
While we're on movies, though, I came downstairs today, and my wife had turned on some movie called Pihu. It's like Pihu.
Okay.
Have you seen this? I don't. It's probably on Netflix or something. We only have Netflix, Hulu, Prime. We have all the shit, right? So it's on one of those. It's this movie from an Indian director, Vinod something, and the movie has English subtitles, which I don't fuck with movies with subtitles. I literally don't. I won't watch any of them. And like it sucks because lately I've been turning on these movies and they look like fantastic movies, and then they start with subtitles and I turn it off. Anyway, the entire plot of this movie is there's a little girl. She's probably just about 3 or just turned 3. I think it was just after her birthday party. And you learn that the mother like overdoses on like sleeping pills, like on purpose. The dad is away on a business trip. He calls a couple times and you get the sense that him and the wife had a very, rocky relationship, and and there's even some marks on her. Maybe he had like smacked her around a little bit before he left, or whatever. And the whole thing is this 2.5 or 3-year-old is basically alone in an apartment, and every single device that you just like keep your baby away from and shit, they're all at her disposal. So this is the most fucking anxiety-ridden movie. Like, I was stressed the fuck out the whole time. And it doesn't help that this girl is so goddamn cute. She's the most adorable little girl. Big doe eyes. And all the shit she's doing, I see so much of the shit my little girl does. And I'm just like, there's parts where like it's also tugging on the heartstrings because she keeps trying to get her mom to wake up and her mom's not waking up. And so then everything she's doing is like on the brink of fucking disaster. Where there's a hot iron that's left on, she does touch it. She almost knocks it over. There's the water's running. She can't get it turned off. She puts a fucking piece of naan or something in the microwaves it way too long, burns her hand, catches fire. There's just all these things. And the whole thing is just like, I watched like all of it except for we had to like get going. So I was like, I got to know what the fuck happens. Me and my wife were looking at each other like, let's fast forward like 10 minutes. Fast forward 10 minutes, watch it for a minute. Fast forward 10 minutes. So we had to do that like through maybe 20 minutes of the movie. It's like a 90-minute runtime. And honestly, it was the most stressful fucking movie.
It's crazy.
I'm not even going to spoil it. Y'all just need to fucking watch it. So I had never heard of the movie. And I went and Googled it real quick because I was like, man, what's the reaction to this? Because it is fucking giving me like, it's making me feel feelings. And like, that's how it is with music and movies. Music and movies should make you feel things. Whether that's a good thing, whether that's a bad thing, whether that's a scary thing, you should feel, right? Mm-hmm. This movie was making me feel, like hardcore feel. My body was reacting to it. So I go and look. Dude, it's got like shit reviews.
Weird.
Shit fucking reviews. Like I read an article from Huffington Post that was like, it wasn't even Huffington Post, it was HuffPost India. Like, so it was all about Bollywood shit. And he just fucking ripped it start to finish. Huh. And I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? 60 some odd % on Rotten Tomatoes. Like, I just feel like everybody was shitting on this movie. And I haven't come across a movie that I thought was that nerve-wracking or that made me feel like that in a while. So you should check that shit out if you get a... It's fucking... It will give you the...
Why don't you fuck with subtitles?
I have no idea. I feel like it's the same bullshit reason that I don't fuck with music that wasn't recorded well. Like, there's a certain experience that I want, and I don't want to keep reading subtitles and missing the actual movie, the cinema, right?
See, that's Sierra's thing, and she's like, I hate movies with subtitles because I can't keep up with the dialogue, because she's like, I read too slow.
Yeah, well, no, I read fast. I can do it, but it's like I read, and then I want to look up, and I just keep going back and forth.
It's funny, I feel like I used to be that way. I used to hate subtitled movies, and I would always, because I was a little bit into anime when I was in high school, so like I always liked the dubbed version, so I didn't have to read subtitles and stuff like that. But now as an adult, like, that we still haven't finished it. It's only 5 episodes. We still haven't finished Chernobyl on HBO, and but Chernobyl is so spot on, like mid 80s Russian culture and Soviet politics and stuff like that. Like, I told Sierra, I was like, I wish this was in Russian. Like, I feel like that would just add so much to it if these people were speaking Russian and they didn't have British accents.
Do you want me to get you the Russian version? No, I'm serious.
No, I wanted them to be actually speaking Russian.
It's fine. Somebody will just say it over top it.
I like the way they did that. The way they did it in, do you remember the movie Hunt for Red October? The way they did that one where they start out in Russian and it like slowly zooms in on their mouths, these two guys, and then they switch to English and then it zooms back out. So it kind of like puts you in this place like, by the way, they're speaking Russian, but we're going to save you the subtitles.
Yeah.
You know, it was cool. I like that.
Yep. I just don't fuck with subtitle movies, but you should watch that and I'll watch the trailers and then we'll fucking recap if we actually liked it. You started to say something earlier tonight, and so I think I'll quickly touch on this. You said, as you got older. So, something that for whatever fucking reason has been happening a shit ton recently is I've been thinking about my own mortality. Is that normal? Like,
yes.
So when did you start thinking about it?
I think that, it's weird. It's different. I feel because I've always been thinking about it. I grew up in the church. That's like part of what you're trained to believe is you could die at any minute. So do you know where you're going to be?
Right.
So you're always constantly like asking forgiveness and stuff to make sure that you've wiped your slate clean so you don't accidentally die 5 minutes from now and go to hell.
Can I put a little thing in right quick? Just say a little thing.
Yes.
What you just said, it ties back to me and always looking for an angle or like work smarter, not harder. I was like, fuck it. I just won't ever ask for forgiveness. And then right before I die, I'll do just one right then and just knock it out for everything.
There it is.
And fuck it.
But that's the thing is you don't know when you're going to die.
That's true. You don't.
And the Catholics believe in purgatory. So they believe in a place after death that you can still
lounge.
You can still be made clean. Whereas evangelicals, you do not pass go straight to hell. And so the fear of hell had always had me thinking about mortality. But now as an adult, especially one who would consider themselves like an ex-Christian or something like that, I still think about mortality in spiritual in spiritual language, but I am starting to think about it more as just like, holy shit, like what happens if I have a heart attack, like, and my wife and kids have to make do without me.
I know.
That's the stuff I think about now, where before it was thinking about death as in what happens to me when I die, and now that I realize that this life is all we have for sure. Maybe we do go to heaven or hell when we die, maybe. But all I know for sure is that this life is happening now, and I need to make every good, So I have been thinking about it a lot more, especially as it pertains to health and taking care of myself.
Fucking crazy.
So, because I feel like that's something that I don't really do is take care of myself that well.
Yeah, me either. I have to go get a physical like soon and get like a sign off that says it's clean bill of health and the whole thing like that. And that got me thinking about it. I'm like, man, I don't know what I can. I mean, I say I don't know what I can do, but I could eat better. I mean, I do work out and shit, but I could definitely do more like active things versus just going and like lifting heavy objects around and shit like that. Like I should definitely do more. But I think there's something endearing about people who are still very devout, Catholics and evangelicals and things like that do believe in this afterlife for sure. Because I feel like they head into things like cancer or like, any kind of like terminal disease. They head into it a lot more just like, well, it's okay. And me, who doesn't believe in that shit, I'm like, fuck no, it's not okay. Like, you better take this shit out of me. Like, whatever the fuck I got going on, you better remove it because this is my life. And sometimes I wish I had something else to believe in. I just feel like, man, if there's one of the deities, if any of the deities is real, just come down and let me the fuck know right now so that I can start living differently.
Yeah. I will say from somebody who grew up in the church, watching somebody go through a long battle with cancer, and especially our later years in the church, we went to charismatic churches where it was a lot more like praying loud and a lot more physical, like laying hands on people and stuff like that, and seeing people give everything everything to praying for healing for somebody with cancer and then they die, it's really something, because it's where rubber hits the road with Christians, because that is the one place that Christians still can't, the problem of pain, like why pain, why death, why disease. I saw a meme that was like an illustration of like surgeons, and like then like there's a Force Ghost Jesus, like with his hands on the surgeon's hands, and it says, "How dare you take out that tumor I put in there?" You know, like stuff like that. Like it, like, because there's a lot of weird layers in Christian theology, specifically of like, you know, everything is preordained. So like, if you got cancer, that's because God wanted you to have cancer.
But where does everything stop? And that was actually a point I was going to bring up.
Yeah.
So if everything's laid out for me, it doesn't fucking matter what I do, because that was my destiny.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know, and there's big, I keep bringing this back to the church, but it's just what I know. There's big disagreement within the church. Like the church I grew up in, the Calvinists, they believe in predestination. They literally believe God has already chosen who goes to heaven and who goes to hell before you were born. They believe that God has chosen if I went like that, that's because God preordained me to do that, you know? And so I grew up believing that. And then later in life, I got into, there's other Christian theologies that say the future is open. You know, there's other Christian theologies that say that God doesn't even know the future because the future physically doesn't exist yet. Now it does.
Oh,
now
yeah,
it does.
I see.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of interesting arguments out there about this stuff, but that's why I always come back to like the one thing we do know for sure is that we are here on this earth now for 60 to 90 years, depending on how well you take care of yourself.
And just to paraphrase that, what you're saying is YOLO.
That's what I'm saying. Is YOLO.
That's what I thought. That's exactly what my Rabbi Drake told me. He told me YOLO.
Oh man, you slipped like a Jewish joke in there too. That was good. That was well done.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Like a respectful Jewish joke.
Because he is Jewish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I was just making sure he caught that. I'm like, that wasn't just I didn't pick just a random person. No, so that's one thing I've actually. Okay, I say that's one thing, but that is like just one of a billion things that I've argued with my mom on, and that's one thing she always does is she'll say like, you know, I can't even explain it. Like everything good that happens, she attributes to like, oh, she prayed and that's why it happened. She knows like, fucking, I just got to talk to this saint and like this thing happens and like the patron saint of lost things. And the reason you found that is because I prayed to this one. And then when something bad happens, I'm like, who is that? You know, I'm kind of a dick in that regard.
But that makes that it creates a culture of, oh, then it just means I didn't pray enough.
Yeah.
So then it puts it on the person.
Yep.
And then it ends up just ruining you from the inside out because you never feel like you're living up to some weird standard where it's like, no, just let the chips fall where they land and just try to get through. Just do it. You know what I mean?
That's what
There's
saying.
There's nothing wrong with praying. There's nothing wrong with like really believing that there's a God out there who's got your back. No, that helps a lot of people get through life. It helped me get through my childhood.
That's and I've said this before that I think the one thing religion is supposed to do is make you a better person. If it's not doing that, then your religion's failing you, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna just take us out of religion because fucking we could be on there, I'm sure, for like hours upon hours.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna take us right to fucking trivial things that bother us. Because
I had one.
Did you? Well, I'll do mine real quick, and then I'll give you a chance to think.
Oh, I got it. Go.
Mine is people who say things like, don't judge that person for that, right? You shouldn't judge people. They tell me you shouldn't judge people. And me being a person who gives way to science, right? Mm-hmm. I'm like, no, there's fucking countless studies that show human nature is to judge people, and we judge people from the fucking moment we walk up. Like, that's what happens. We judge people. Why do you think they say things like first impressions matter? Because all the ones after that are going to be tainted by the first impression. So a situation happened the other day, and I posted that wedding who had like the MAGA dress.
Oh, I saw that shit erupt.
Right. So I posted this thing about the MAGA dress, and I was like, this is stupid. It obviously came to my attention because I saw it and on the news, and like it only got coverage because it was like Donald Trump is a fucking buzzword. The Make America Great Again thing is like, it's a buzzword, it's clickbait. I saw it because of that. I posted it because it was fucking stupid, right? It has nothing to do with Trump in this instance. And whoever wants to do whatever to their wedding, so be it, right? There's a lot of fucking things that I think are dumb that people do for their wedding or that are not my thing, right? That's one that this person did that in order to go viral.
Oh yeah.
She is an actress. I think she has like an acting career, and like she even had a whole second dress and yada yada, and that was only one part of it because they knew it would go viral. Mm-hmm. So I got the typical, who are you to judge this person? And I'm like,
believe me, I saw that conversation happening, and it took everything in me to not jump in.
You should have fucking jumped in. I don't give a fuck. No. So, and then I said, okay, so are we to not judge child rapists? But I mean, where do we draw the line? You're telling me to not judge people, right? Isn't that their preference? And then who made that argument that like people that like kids are technically just a sexual preference? Like,
I don't know, but fuck that person.
I agree. Fuck that person. But I actually agree with the rationale and reasoning behind that. It's a fucked up thing, right? But the same way you can't choose whether you like men or women.
Oh yeah, no, don't get me wrong.
I get that.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
I'm not saying it's right, obviously, by no fucking means, and fuck those people for being dealt that hand, whatever. But the whole thing is like, I said, do you judge child rapists? Who are you to judge them, right? And I feel that's a valid argument, because if you're telling me that it's a hard and fast, you can't judge these people, then where do you fucking draw? You don't make the rules. You can't tell me not to do something and go, oh yeah, but I meant like, except for this one, because that doesn't fit whatever agenda I'm trying to push, right? So my trivial thing that bothers me is people that say things that sound like, the hard and fast rule. And then when you propose something that negates what they're saying, they go, that's not the same thing. Fuck you. Yes, it is.
That's our culture right now in a nutshell.
I know.
It's okay. It's okay if it's on my team.
Yeah. If it supports my theory, we're good. How dare you even say that? I could have said anything else. I could have been like, what do you mean that car doesn't look good blue? Fuck, who are you to judge that car? It could have been a dumb fucking thing, but I just chose child rapist because, I still got a little troll in me from back here, and I knew that would prove my point.
Gotta poke the bee's nest.
Gotta poke the bee's nest. Macaulay Culkin. My girl.
He can't see without his glasses.
Where's his glasses?
Truthfully, the first movie I watched that like made me sob, I was like 7 years old watching it with my mom.
My girl?
Yeah. And then a couple years ago, Sierra and I watched it together, and I was like a fucking mess. I still had like puffy eyes the next morning. That movie makes me fucking sob.
Yeah. When I became a parent, all movies started affecting me differently. Shit just hits different.
That movie 50-50. Have you seen that movie?
No.
It's Seth Rogen and Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Kid gets cancer. His mom's Angelica Houston. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I have.
There's a part where they have a conversation, and she is expressing emotionally how hard it is, how she just can't wrap her head around the fact that her son is dying of cancer. And oh my God, man, we saw that in the theater, and I'm like, yeah, dude. I mean, I was like ugly.
Movies just hit
ugly
different
cry,
nowadays.
Sobbing watching that movie. Holy shit!
And that's the same thing that I was saying with that. I think it's called Pihu. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but that's the same thing. Like, I'm watching that, and the whole time I just keep imagining, like, what if that was my daughter? What? And so, like, the fucking
there's something in my eye,
dude. There's something in both of my eyes.
No, my trivial thing is a lot less
controversial.
Yeah, we have 2 elevators in our building, and like, if somebody's 10 feet behind you, would it kill you to like just put your hand out to hold the elevator real quick? And because our elevators are pretty slow, and there's 3, sorry, but
are they slow enough that you could fucking run up the stairs and meet them at whatever floor?
Yep. And they're slow, and there's 6 floors of offices, 6 floors of residential, so they're going all day.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, so like, oh my God, we were walking through the garage, you heard me walking behind you, you heard me open the door behind you, just put your arm out for a second and go, hey, do you need to get on the elevator? I do that, and it's not hard.
Yeah. Gotta pay it forward.
So
fuckers.
I hate that shit.
How fucking crazy would that be if they see you coming and you hit them with like where you point to both your eyes and point to them?
And they're like,
if you did that and then you fucking ran up the stairs and you were standing there when their door opened and you were like, fuck you, I'm faster, bitch. And you're fat. You should tell them something like that. Be something crazy. Something fucking wild off the top.
Also, another quick...
You got another trivial?
No, well, it's attached to it.
Oh.
Is like... you get in on the second floor in the garage, like from our office. You know how our office,
I've been there.
Like in the garage, it's the 3rd floor, and in the building, it's the 2nd floor.
Yeah.
It's stupid. But people who there's like the stairs right next to the elevator, and if like people who like just take the elevator to floor 3, it's like just use the goddamn stairs.
I use the stairs 100% of the time until I got like in your building and then went to the
yeah.
I did that whole thing.
Anyway, I hate that.
Cool, man. Episode 16 in the books. Woo! This is the first time we haven't had a guest in a while, but we have a guest next week, as long as he can still come on. So I hope he can. I'm not going to say the name just because fuck it. And quick thing, women are allowed on this thing too, but apparently like no women are wanting to come on. I don't know what because it's called Heckin Cool Dads.
Give us a better name.
Yeah, give us a better name. And then come on. So that's all I got. All right, peace.
Peace.